got another story from BoundingIntoComics.com. However, this one's a top 10 list, the top 10 worst films of 2022. I'm happy to say I've only actually seen a few of these, and I've only heard of a few more. Thankfully, I haven't even heard of half of this list. I guess I luck out in that sense. Number 10 is Halloween Ends. I saw this one, and I agree for the most part with what he says here. Starting off the list is one of the worst endings to a film trilogy in cinematic history. Wraps things up with a stunning exercise in making the wrong creative direction. Michael Myers doesn't even appear until almost an hour into the runtime, and if you want to see him kill, you'll have to wait an additional 30 minutes. I really hate when movies do this. If I know some people really enjoy when they don't show the monster for a long time. How there's even websites dedicated to that. Not me. I think, no. I just give me a good slasher film. I'm not hard to please when it comes to like horror movies. Don't Worry, Darling. Haven't seen this. I'd heard about the hype, if you want to call it that, or all that kind of shit. But it's basically about Me Too movement. It's paved the way for a multitude of films over the last few years that just repeat the same misandrous message. Men controlling everything is bad, and everything would be so much better if women were in charge. I don't give a shit. Whatever. This movie can just fuck right off. Thor: Love and Thunder. Sorry to say I have seen this. I completely agree with it on the list. As it says, totally inconsistent. Thor franchise. The opening act presents 3 different stories with 3 different tones and fails to mesh any of them together for a coherent story. It attempts to be a rom-com between Thor and Natalie Portman's Jane Foster while her character is dealing with the very serious reality that is cancer. The seriousness of Jane's morality is snuffed throughout the film by Taika Waititi's need to inject comedy where it is not needed. A trope that is unbearable in some of the directors of other films, such as Jojo Rabbit, for example. Chris Hemsworth has described Taika Waititi's style as a director as an inner child running wild. Say that Thor: Love and Thunder is a film a 7-year-old would make. This is the most accurate description of this movie in the worst way. It says Thor: Love and Thunder is the worst MCU film not named Eternals. Actually, I thought it was worse than Eternals, but that's some of it is because I really like Thor, and I could not stand the way that Waititi just crams that goddamn humor in it. Marry Me, heard of it, didn't want to watch it. It's about J-Lo wanting to marry Owen Wilson. Her character learns only seconds before her vows that Bastion has been unfaithful. She instead decides to marry Charlie, Owen Wilson, who's just a stranger in the crowd. That sounds stupid. Now, at the same time, if you're into that kind of stuff, that kind of you're that type that you love when Hallmark makes the same movies over and over again because it's like comfort food or whatever. That's fine. I don't think that there's anything terrible about it. I just don't see why they would spend a bunch of money making movies like this. But yeah, I'm assuming it costs a lot to make. I don't know. The Menu, haven't seen this. I've seen some previews on it and stuff. So, an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises. It's a predictable cinematic experience that you can figure out within the first 3 minutes. I guess apparently, as it says here, whenever a film inserts progressive story tropes into the plot, it becomes predictable and you can accurately guess exactly where it's going. The cast is nothing more than a bunch of rich, entitled elitists with unlikable personalities, offering audiences absolutely no one to root for from the jump. Okay, sounds terrible. Glad I didn't see it. Scream, actually, I didn't think it was that bad. It wasn't good, but at the same time, I don't know. My standards when it comes to horror movies, like I said, are pretty low for the most part. But anyway, here's a writing tip for modern day screenwriters: being quirky and self-aware doesn't make your film good, especially in a series that did it far better than you ever could. Like I said, I didn't think it was great, but yeah. Bodies. Never heard of this. Group of rich 20-somethings plan a hurricane party at a remote family mansion. A party game turns deadly with backstabbing, fake friends, and one party gone very, very wrong. Okay, yeah, it's a film that described itself as a black comedy slasher film. It only takes 30 minutes of runtime to understand that the creators of this movie have no idea what the words comedy, satire, or slasher actually mean, making it one of the most obnoxious films in the 21st century. It sounds terrible. To be honest, but The Woman King, haven't seen it, don't want to, because it's like fan fiction. It's just bullshit. It's not based in reality. Inspired by true events, my ass. Are you kidding me? What do you call a historical epic that omits key details to the story to avoid telling the truth? A fantasy. It's a textbook definition of revisionist history. It's the biggest problem with the entire premise of the movie, blah, blah, blah. You guys, like I said, I'll link this in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. I'm trying to not make this video super long. Number 2, Not Okay. Hadn't heard of it. An ambitious young woman finds followers and fans when she poses as a survivor of a deadly attack, but she soon learns that online notoriety comes with a terrible price. You know, being a left-wing progressive, basically it's about this chick who's just, you know, she's faking being a victim because she's wanting fame, she's wanting clout. You know, yeah. Bros haven't seen this movie, heard a lot about it, don't want to watch it. It's got nothing to do with the fact that it's a bunch of, you know, gay men and stuff. I don't care about that. I'm not bothered by that. What I'm bothered by is the fact that literally everything I've seen about, because I've seen a couple of the trailers and stuff, absolutely zero humor to be found. None at all. It's full of some of the most low-hanging, you know, fruit in terms of like comedy, if you want to call it that, that I've ever seen in a movie. This thing should have been a TV movie, if anything. You know, I mean, it shouldn't even have been made because it's just like fucking stupid. It's just moronic. And other people have talked about it better than I could and discussed the problems with it and stuff. So I mean, you know, if you really want, you know, you can watch it. I believe it's still up on Peacock. I don't see, you know, why not. I don't care, whatever. But it's just terrible. It is absolutely just terrible. You know, the second film tried to make the argument of grooming children into the by their own admission degeneracy that is presented in this film. That is where bros crossed the line. You know, look, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't want to comment too much on it. These people have seen the movie, so hey, you know, I'll trust what they're saying. It sounds terrible. It's unfunny. It just sounds like garbage. I'm glad I didn't see it. I could absolutely see it's the best, or the worst movie of the year. You know, okay, you know, makes sense. Anyway, like I said, I'll link this in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.